Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Jessica. I am a member of 5 Dinners in 1 Hour, which is a great meal prep system that can save you so much time during the week with your dinner. So I'm prepping from our sample menu today, and I want to show you how easy it is to put these meals together so that way you can save time and save money during the week. So I have picked 3 recipes from our sample menu, and you can grab our sample menu. It's no commitment, and you're gonna get instant access to 15 dinner recipes that are all designed to be prepped ahead of time to save you lots of time during the week. You get to customize your serving size. So I've set all the recipes that I'm making today to a serving size of 3 because that's what works well for my family. So you can set these recipes to any serving size that you need. So I have printed 3 of our sample recipes. The first one is the ranch pork chop dinner. The second one is the slow cooked Mississippi pot roast. And the last one that I'm gonna do today is the 1-pan shrimp fajitas. So let me show you how easy it is to put these together so that way dinner will be ready to be cooked for my family. So I'm gonna start off with the ranch pork chop dinner, and I'm just gonna go step by step with the assembly instructions. So what I've done so far is I put my meat into bags here. So, there we go. I label my bag with the name of the meal and then the sell by date. And then I just put my meat into bags first. That just saves me a step from having to wash my hands in between every meal. So I get that step done first. And then I pulled out everything that's on the middle column here on this menu that I printed. So you don't have to print the menu. It's just easier for me to do it. That you can use your phone, which I've done many times. So I go down this middle column. I pull everything out of my fridge, everything out of my pantry. So that's what I've done here. I have a lot of things in this basket here and also in front of me. So I'm just gonna follow these step-by-step instructions and put these meals together so that way they can be stored in my fridge, ready to be cooked. So the first instruction tells me this is the ranch pork chop dinner from our sample menu, and you can grab that. You get instant access right away to those 15 dinner recipes. I've set mine for a serving size of 3, and you can set it to any number that works for you. So the first one says to chop potatoes in half or quarters, basically into small pieces, and put them in a large zipper bag along with my green beans. So I'm gonna chop my potatoes first. I'm gonna move these out of the way so that I have room. So they have thought, 5 Dinners 1 Hour has thought of all the things to help you get these prepped quickly, and also all the things that they've thought of, like, for instance, gold potatoes. So some of you may think, oh my goodness, you're prepping potatoes ahead of time. Aren't they gonna turn brown? 5 Dinners has thought of all those little details that's gonna help you to get your meals prepped ahead of time, but they're still gonna be good in the fridge and still good on cooking day. So gold potatoes, a lot of their recipes, when they call for potatoes, they'll call for gold potatoes because gold potatoes, they just tend to do better in the refrigerator than, like, say, russet potatoes. So you'll see a lot of gold potatoes. And another thing that's going to keep these from staying good, or keep them staying good in the fridge, is that they always have you coat the potatoes in, like, some olive oil or some sort of oil. And that's going to keep the potatoes, that's going to help them to stay fresh. It's going to keep them from turning brown or oxidizing. So all those little details that you may have never thought of if you've ever tried to, like, prep ahead your own meals that are not, written that way. They've thought of all those details. So, okay, I'm gonna chop these into little pieces. The smaller the pieces, the faster they cook. So I'm gonna chop them into pretty small pieces. Now I do have this set for a serving size of 3 because that just works well for our family. I do have probably 1 more potato than it called for, but I figure it's better to have a few extra potatoes. So these are gonna go in my zipper bag. There we go. And I like to store my meals because I know some people look at this and they're like, how would I have room to store these meals in my refrigerator? Trust me, I have a refrigerator that is often very full, which is a good problem to have, but I always have room for my meals because what I normally do is I have a little basket that's from the Dollar Tree, and I will just put my meals in that little basket, put it in the top of my fridge. And that way everything stays contained. That way if it's someone that's not me that's cooking dinner that night, they know exactly where to get them out of the refrigerator and it's easy. And if I am gone one evening and it's time for someone else to cook dinner, I just have my menu here that's printed out, and I can just say, hey, we're having the ranch pork chop dinner tonight, and the cook instructions are right here. It's super easy, super straightforward, and even my kid can put this in the oven and get it ready for dinner. So I love that about Five Dinners. So they not only make the prep super easy, I always tell people, as long as you can read the instructions, even if you don't think that you're a great cook, I promise you can make these meals, because they just make it that straightforward. So this is the ranch pork chop dinner. This is actually one of our favorites that we haven't had in a very long time. There's so many great recipes with these meal plans that I kind of forget sometimes, like, hey, we've had that one before and it's really, really good. So this one is, like I said, on that sample plan. So with the sample plan, you're not having to commit to anything, so it's a great way to try it out and see how it works for your family. So I encourage you, grab the sample plan. If you have struggled with dinner, if you have spent way too much money on dinners, try out the sample plan. It's no commitment, and it's just a great way to test out the system and see how it works for your family. So try 3. You're gonna get instant access to 15 meals, but I encourage you to go in, pick the 3 that if you have picky kids, let them pick the 3 that you think that your family would love the best, and set your serving size. It's gonna generate a grocery list for you. So that way you know exactly what you need from the grocery store. You're not wasting anything. I always say your groceries have a purpose this way, like you know exactly what they're gonna be used for, so they're not gonna go to waste. It'll generate that grocery list. Go and get your groceries and prep 3 and see how quick and easy it makes your dinner go during the week, your evening time. It definitely takes the stress out of dinner. This was a few more potatoes than I thought it would make, but that's good. And if we have leftovers, we can eat these for leftovers, which will actually be a good thing. So we'll have them like with a lunch for the next day or something like that. Okay, so my directions say to chop up my potatoes, which I've done, and add to a zipper bag along with my green beans. It just calls for frozen green beans. I like to use the whole frozen green beans. I forgot to open my package here. So that's what we're going with here. So I'm gonna pour these in here, and I'm gonna use half of these in here. And then, whoops, another one of my meals, the slow cooked Mississippi hot roast, we're having the rest of these with that meal. So we save so much money with these meal plans. For these 3 meals, we can't even go out to eat for the amount that it cost us for these 3 meals, which was about like $22. So yeah, we can't even go out to eat for that much one time, let alone 3 times. So I love that we can save money with this, because y'all know food is expensive now. So, okay, it tells me that I'm going to I kind of got ahead of myself. I'm gonna go ahead and spray them with olive oil. Kind of getting ahead of myself. And like I said earlier, on these potatoes, the key is when you're prepping them ahead of time, making sure they're coated in oil, which is actually gonna have me do that later, so I probably should wait. So, okay. So I have my bag number 1 with my veggies here, and then it tells me to add my pork chops to a separate zipper bag, which I have right here. And then it tells me just to mix my last 5 ingredients in a small bowl and pour half over here and half over here. So let me move that out of the way one more time. I'm gonna go ahead and grab, I forgot to grab it earlier, so let me grab my pinch bowl here, and then we're gonna add our last 5 ingredients here. I'm gonna take this off. I love this little sprayer thing, but there we go. I'm gonna take it off to make it a little bit easier to pour. So I have my olive oil here, which is gonna coat those potatoes, and then my ranch seasoning here. So I always tell people I love to cook, but I feel like when we had kids, that love of cooking wasn't quite as strong. Because, you know, if y'all have kids, or if you're just, you know, if you're busy and you work a lot, you know, dinner time can be super stressful because it's just a busy time of day. So I always felt like with my kids, that was like the time of day that they really needed me, was dinner time. So I was scrolling on Facebook one day, and I saw something about 5 dinners 1 hour. Somebody had their meals prepped, and I'm like, okay, this is really intriguing. So anyway, I got the sample menu. I tried it out for myself and I'm like, okay, this is really awesome because I'm saving so much time. And it really was just so easy. So I started with the sample plan and I got hooked, and then I signed up for a meal plan right after that. So I love 5 Dinners 1 Hour. We have been members for almost 6 years now. And I always tell people I can't imagine like doing dinner the way that I used to do it, which was just very haphazardly, you know, always like, oh man, it's like 4:30. What are we gonna have for dinner tonight? So I don't have to worry about it anymore because I pick like an hour of my day, not an hour of my day, an hour of my week, and I get all of our meals prepped and ready to go, all of our dinners prepped and ready to go. And it just saves me so much time and so much stress during the week because when everybody says, what's for dinner? I already know, and it's already ready to be put in the oven or in the slow cooker or however it's supposed to be cooked. And there's a really good variety of meals in here too. They're not all slow cooker meals, they're not all sheet pan meals. Like there's just every cooking type, and like I said, a really good variety. So, and if you are like, you want to just make slow cooker meals, or you know for sure like, hey, this week's gonna be a really busy week, we need, you know, a few slow cooker meals, you can actually filter by cook type. You can filter by meat type. So there's little filter buttons there. Or say if you just want to make some chicken dinners, you can filter by poultry. Or you want to make some slow cooker dinners, you can click, there's a little slow cooker button, and it will show you just slow cooker meals or just chicken meals. So I love that feature and I use it all the time. There is a section where you can search by ingredient. I especially use that one all the time because I hate wasting ingredients. And if I have something left over from, you know, a previous meal or whatever, and I want to use it up in one of our dinners that week, I can just search by ingredient and it'll show me all the recipes that I have access to with that particular ingredient in it. So that is super nice. Okay, so this is meal number 1, the ranch pork chop dinner from our sample menu. Like I said, go grab the sample menu and pick 3. Pick 3 dinners just to give it a try it out, see how it works for you that week. Because after you pick 3, you're probably gonna be hooked and it's gonna save you so much time. And it's summertime here. Well, probably maybe there too, but it's summertime right now. And summertime is such a busy time, so I'm like even more grateful for 5 Dinners because there's been many nights where I'm like, you know what? We have all this stuff going on around dinner time, and if I hadn't had my dinners prepped, we totally would have just gone and picked something up. So this definitely comes in handy during those busy summer months. Okay, so this is meal number 1. Let me tell you what it looks like on cooking day. So my directions tell me, get this out of the way. On cooking day, we're just gonna pour these on a sheet pan and we're gonna bake it in the oven for about 30 minutes. And then its suggested serving side is a green salad. So all of these recipes, you're not only gonna get, of course, the ingredients that you need for prep day, but they're also gonna give you suggested serving sides. And that will also go on that customized grocery list that you will get. And that way you know exactly what you're having with it and you don't even have to figure that part out. So this is meal number 1. I'm gonna put this just right beside me here. And we're gonna go on to meal number 2, which is one of our all-time favorites and definitely one of our member favorites. So this one is also on that sample menu plan that you can grab. And when you get it, you don't have to like wait for, you know, something to come through. You just instantly will get access to all those 15 recipes. They're also gonna throw in a couple of like dessert recipes that are really yummy. So that's a little bonus there for you. But this is one of them. It's the Mississippi pot roast. And if you are in our Facebook community group, you know, you've probably seen this one posted a lot. This is definitely a member favorite. So a lot of people love this one and it is so easy. So this one calls for all the ingredients to go in a zipper bag. It just says add all ingredients to a large zipper bag, zip to seal. This one is so easy. I'm just gonna dump everything in. Now, you might notice that my roast calls for a beef chuck roast or any kind of roast that you like. My beef chuck roast looks a little bit different. I'm actually using pork instead of beef. So if you see a recipe, the next one that I'm gonna make is a seafood recipe. But if you see a recipe and you're like, oh, we don't really like shrimp or whatever, but that recipe sounds good, you can still do it. So just use a different protein. So say you have the shrimp fajitas, which I'm making next, which are also on that sample menu. If that sounds good, but you don't really, your family doesn't like shrimp, then you can totally just use chicken. I almost used chicken this week, but I went ahead and went with the shrimp. So, okay, so this is the Mississippi pot roast. I've got my dry ranch seasoning there, and then I'm gonna add my onion soup mix, which I think is in front of me. Let me see where I put it. I got a little basket of ingredients out. So when I pulled everything out of like my refrigerator and my pantry, I put it all in this basket and carried it over, and then I just took all my spices out and put it over to this side. So, although I'm beginning to wonder where I put that packet, I may just grab another one out of the pantry. Let me check one more time. Oh, it's right there. It was just hiding. Okay, let me put this in. So this is also set for a serving size of 3. That's probably our favorite serving size to do because, like I said, the amount of food just works perfect for our family. Sometimes I will bump it up to like a serving size of 6 if we want leftovers. There are some things where I'm like, I know we want leftovers of that. So sometimes I will bump it up. But I love that you can even change the serving size for each individual recipe to whatever. So if you want to have like this one set for 6 and this one set for 4 or 3, you can set each one differently if you need to. Because we do have some members that we'll have family over one night, so they'll bump it up to another serving size. So totally customizable, which I love, and it just, calculates the quantity of everything that you need on the recipe and also on your grocery list that you get as well. Okay, so I'm gonna add my pepperoncini peppers. I have a new package here. This is usually one of those things that I always have in the refrigerator because I love this meal and we eat this one at least once a month or so because it's so good. So I always have these on hand, although I was actually out of them this time. So I'm gonna put some of these in here. Now, if your kids are picky and you see these peppers and you're like, oh, I don't think they're gonna eat those peppers, you don't have to, we don't actually eat the peppers. Well, some of us do, but they just add so much flavor to this one. So this is a Mississippi pot roast, and this I think is what really gives it that distinct flavor that it has. So don't skip out on the pepperoncini peppers if you've never had them before. And of course, these will last like forever in your refrigerator for the next time that you make it or for one of our other recipes. And another, like I said, you can search by ingredient. So if you say, hey, I want to use up these pepperoncini peppers, you can go onto your dashboard when you become a member and you can search by ingredient, and it'll bring up all the recipes that you have that use pepperoncini peppers. So I love that. Save some money. Okay, did I get everything in here? Except salt and pepper, and then this one is ready to go. So this is a slow cooker meal, which I love slow cooker meals. We're gonna pop this in our slow cooker on cooking day, and we're gonna serve this with mashed potatoes. Suggested serving size are mashed potatoes and green beans, and that's what we're gonna have. We love to buy the Bob Evans mashed potatoes that you find in your refrigerated section because it's just so easy, and they actually taste really good too. So like better than my homemade mashed potatoes and so much easier. So that's what we're gonna serve this one with. So quick and easy, even the sides are quick and easy. So this one is ready to go. This is the Mississippi pot roast. And I'm just gonna give this a quick zip. Now, when you're prepping, if you've never prepped before, like I said, it might seem a little bit intimidating. I promise, these recipes are just super straightforward. Just read the directions. A lot of them is like this one where you're just putting stuff in a bag. Some of them you're having to chop stuff up, but it really is so easy. So this one's Mississippi pot roast, and then it, of course, gives you a step-by-step cooking instructions. So this one's just gonna go in the slow cooker, and this one is ready to go. So when you're prepping, a couple different prep tips. Make sure you have a trash can nearby, or some people, if they tend to prep like across the kitchen from their trash can, they might even get like a bowl with a Walmart sack in it for their trash, just so you're not making trips across the kitchen. It's just gonna save you time. And then also get all those ingredients out before you start, because I promise you're gonna save time by not going back and forth to your refrigerator or your pantry. So a couple things that will just make it go even faster. Okay, so meal number 2, the slow cooker Mississippi pot roast, and we're gonna go on to our last meal from our sample menu, and this is the one pan shrimp fajitas. I'm not sure if we've ever had this one before, so I'm excited about this one. I mean, I like anything that's Mexican inspired. So, okay, so this one says we're gonna chop our peppers and onions into strips. So I'm gonna do that first. I'm gonna move that aside and grab my pepper and my onion. I forgot to wash this one. So let me give this one a quick rinse. I do like to prep beside my sink because it's just easy. If I have, to clean up something, it's just right there. Or if I have to throw something in the sink, it's right there. So that's where I prefer to prep, and I have a small kitchen and this totally works just fine. I do keep, you can see it right here. I do keep a large cutting board on the other side of my sink when I prep because I don't have, excuse me, I don't have just a ton of counter space just right here, as you can tell. So that just gives me a little extra counter space within arm's reach where I can put ingredients. So I've gotten to where I do that pretty much every time I prep. Okay, so I'm just cutting up my bell pepper carefully. Now I did waste a little bit of it. Let me get that part off. This is the way I like to cut it. There's like so many different ways that you can cut a bell pepper, but that's the way that I like to do it. I've got this little fly flying around in here. Okay, so I'm just gonna put these in slices, and then it tells me that I'm gonna add these to a large zipper bag along with everything else. So I already have my shrimp in the bag. This is actually just all gonna go in one bag. It's all gonna be cooked on a sheet pan. I love sheet pan meals. And I feel like before 5 Dinners 1 Hour, I didn't really hardly ever make sheet pan meals because I just didn't think about it. And now I'm like, man, those are the easiest because there is like very little cleanup, basically one pan. Same thing with slow cooker meals. They're just so easy. So I love that. A lot of the recipes, or really all of them, with 5 Dinners, I love that obviously they're designed to be prepped ahead of time, but they are so like hands-off when it comes to actually cooking. So they've made it so easy even on cooking day. So a lot of these are like sheet pan meals where you just pop it in the oven and you walk away and go do something else. Even the sides, suggested serving sides that they put with the meals that will go on your grocery list, even those are usually very hands-off. Now, if there is a side that's suggested to go with a particular meal that is more involved, they'll have you prep that ahead of time. So they've thought of all those details to make it to where when it's time to cook dinner, like everything that you've done ahead of time, like that's the bulk of the work. And you're not having to babysit your meal. You're just letting it cook, and you can walk away, do some laundry, go play with your kids, go read a book, go watch TV, and you're not having to sit there and babysit your meal. So it really does save so much time, which I love. I like to cook, but I don't really want to spend very much time in the kitchen. Is anybody else the same way? Okay, I'm not going to use all of this onion, so I'm just going to, I need to probably time to sharpen my knife. So I always feel like every time I sharpen it, it's like a brand new knife afterwards. So it's been quite a while since I've done that. It's probably time. Okay, so I'm just gonna slice up this onion and get it in the bag. So how much time do you typically spend in the kitchen every evening making dinner? So before 5 Dinners 1 Hour, now we did, we kind of had sort of in the rotation some simple dinners like spaghetti, tacos, and things like that. But it was very often that it was like an hour and a half in the kitchen at dinner time, which, like I said, I like to cook, but I don't like it that much. So with these meal plans, I very often can get dinner on the table in about like 20 to 25 minutes. And most of it is just letting it cook in the oven, or like it's been cooking in the slow cooker all day and I just have to put the sides together real quick. So it really is that easy. I'm not spending much time in the kitchen, and it takes me, let's see, today it'll take me a little longer to prep these 3 meals because I'm talking, but I have very often gotten 5 meals prepped in about 25 minutes. So, and you will find if you are just starting out and you're prepping, say 3 meals from the sample plan, the more you do it, the faster you get. You kind of just get the hang of it. So you'll find after 2 or 3 times, you're getting even faster than you were before. Okay, so I have my peppers and my onions in there. I already have my shrimp in there. And these are all just going in a sheet pan, popping it in the oven. And then I'm just gonna put in all of my seasonings now. So put all the remaining ingredients in here. I'm gonna spray it with some olive oil. There we go. And let me grab, now, I'm an eyeballer. If you wanna measure, you can measure, I don't know. I might actually measure today. I did get my measuring spoons out. So if you, when you sign up for that sample plan, whoops, there we go. When you sign up for that sample plan, give it a try, pick 3 meals, see how much time you save during the week, see how easy it is, and then once you decide to become a member, every month you're gonna get new recipes. So you're not gonna get tired of having the same things over and over. I love that there's so much variety and that, you know, you do get new things every month, so you can try new things. So you'll get new recipes every month, and they just kind of have a, you know, rotation. You get 3 months worth of stuff at a time. So once you sign up for that sample plan, give it a try, and you decide to become a member, you're gonna get new stuff all the time. So if you have a family that doesn't like the same thing over and over, this is the way to go. Okay, so let me get some lime juice here. All this is just going in the bag, and this one, because it's shrimp, it only cooks for like 8 minutes. So this one, we can have dinner on the table. By the time I put it in the oven, we'll say 12 minutes or less. You can't beat that. Okay, so my garlic powder, which, that's not it. Here we go. I said I was gonna measure. I didn't actually end up doing it. So if you're an eyeballer, you can eyeball it. If you're a measurer, all your measurements will be on here for you according to the serving size that you set for yourself. So we have families that use this that just cook for themselves. And we have people that use this that have large families, and that's set like a serving size of 9. So it really does work for any size family. I love that it is customizable, that you get to pick your serving size, because I have tried things before where it's basically like they send you a PDF and your meals are set. You don't get to pick what you eat, and you don't get to pick your serving size. I love that with 5 dinners in 1 hour, it is customizable. You get to pick the meals, so you can pick based on what your family likes, and you get to pick your serving size, and it's gonna generate that grocery list for you. So we have picky eaters here, so if you have picky eaters, this plan can work for you. And like I said, we've been members for almost 6 years, and there's so many recipes to choose from. Let your kids choose, like get them involved. So grab that sample plan. Like I said, pick 3 meals, just try 3 meals, give it a try, see how it works, see how smoothly it makes your week go at dinner time. But let your kids pick. If you have picky kids, like get them involved, let them look at the dashboard, let them look at through all those meals and say, which ones look good to you? And if they help pick it out, they're probably more likely to eat it. Also, you can get them involved in the kitchen and let them, you know, help you prep the meals. Even if they're little bitty, like my 3-year-old likes to help too. So these meals, they make it so easy. The prep steps are so easy. Your kids can totally help you do this too. And that will give them a little ownership, so they'll eat the food. Okay, so this one is ready to go. And on this one, it just says pour our shrimp mixture onto a large sheet pan. We're only gonna cook it for about 8 minutes. And then we're gonna serve it with avocado, chips and salsa, and they're fajitas, so it calls for tortillas as well. So we'll make these into fajitas and serve it with avocado and chips and salsa, and all those go on your grocery list. So I just prepped 3 meals from our sample menu. I'm gonna do a quick recap so you can see what they are. These are just gonna be stored in my refrigerator, ready to be cooked. So this gives me the next 3 nights worth of meals. It's gonna save me so much time. So we have our shrimp fajitas that I just made, our ranch pork chop dinner, which is another sheet pan meal. And then we have our Mississippi pot roast that's gonna go in our slow cooker. So I like to store mine in this little basket. I'm gonna take this out so you can see. I have a few of these little Dollar Tree baskets. This is how I like to store mine in the refrigerator. I clear out one little spot on the top shelf of my refrigerator, and I just pop it in there. And when it's time for dinner, we just pull out what we're having that evening, and it just makes it so easy. So I challenge you, if dinner is a struggle, if you need to save money, if you need to save time during the week, give the sample menu a try. Only pick 3 meals. Just start with 3 for that first week. See how it goes and see how much time you're gonna save during the week. I promise you're gonna love it, and you're gonna love how much time it saves you.